mostly a lot in the Haitian community. When you do become successful, you become a doctor, lawyer, or even like, I don't know, you get a good job. A lot of, like, even I was having a conversation a couple of years ago, I was talking with these guys, and he's talking about, I don't remember what he was doing, but he was talking about his plans. He's like, oh, when I'm gonna be successful, I can't wait to get back to my family, and I'm gonna have my nice white girlfriend with he was talking about, like, as if once he's successful, he'll have the nice white girlfriend, and that's gonna, like, impress.
Right. It does impress some people, right?
What is about that? How come these, I see it a lot in the Haitian community, once you become, quote unquote, successful, or you reach a certain plateau, you forget, where you come from. You start talking a bit differently, and then you have the white girlfriend, and
But again, if you, that's a tough one. I think that the mainstream society, they feed us a standard of beauty, and a lot of us really buy into it wholeheartedly, and what's the standard of beauty that we've all been fed from? What is it?
Standard of beauty is the tall, blonde, skinny woman.
Right, there you go. So a lot of people, like we were talking about before, if you really love who you are, then you want to reinforce and you want to reproduce who you are to a certain extent. And so even though people may be successful, they may want to shred, those things that they hate about themselves. Sometimes it's the color of your skin, the pigment, you know what I mean? That people have perceptions of how they want their children to look like, what kind of hair they want to have. If you have those conversations, people may say or they may not say. But for the most part, I think people have an idea of, I want my child to look like this, or my child to have a certain kind of hair, or a certain color eyes, those kind of things. And so people make choices based on some of those things. They also make choices based on self-hate, and based on their standards of beauty that's imposed in their mind by mainstream society. So, for the most part, black women are not the standard of beauty that has been imposed in all of our minds. You know what I mean?
The black woman too seems to not be too impressed by the black male these days. Do you have thoughts on that?
I don't know. I don't know. I think. I think that there's maybe a bit of a change happening, like I've seen, and again I talk about the influence of the media, like on how it influences our behavior, in the mainstream society and within our community. It's almost like we try to a certain extent, emulate what's being fed to us in the media. Right, and I've seen quite a few movies with black-white couples, white male, black female. You've probably seen them too. There are quite a few movies out there, and I think there's a way that life influences art, but I think art influences life too. It's both give and take. So I think there's that aspect that's happening. I think there's an economic factor to all of this too that we can't ignore. That for the most part, I think oftentimes sometimes it's because black men are so economically challenged in the society. Sometimes being with someone who's not from the black community can increase your economic viability somehow in this society. So there's that factor too that I think plays into it. Wow, you have a lot of stuff. I gotta be careful what I'm saying. You gotta show me what you're gonna use. So there's that, and I think because sometimes in our community too, a lot of some of the black guys, they're not as serious, you know, they're like, you know, quote, playing, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, sometimes, you know, the black woman, she's tired of that. She's like, you know, I don't want to be played, you know what I mean? And so, more and more people are being open to the idea of dating someone from outside the community, on both sides. There's a perception again that you know, and you see that in terms of color, and I think it's very strong in like Haiti. You know, there's like kind of like a color line, like almost the darker you are, the more challenging your life is. You know what I mean? And the lighter you are, the lighter it's like, you know, it's on a continuum. You know, and the lighter you are, usually you're in a better economic situation in the society, you have better opportunities, and to a certain extent, I think the same is true in this society. Like if you look in the mainstream media and you see the images of black folks that are being fed to us, for the most part, they are of a lighter hue. True or false? True. Right? So there's that. So I think that kind of factors in where white becomes right just based on the color, you know.